Hello and welcome to Series 2, Easter Special. We have Morris the Connector here, again to talk about how he became the Connector and his story behind it and his journey. Thank you for coming again onto the show.
You're welcome.
Yes. So I know we touched a bit on, the deaths in your family and things like that. So I wanted to ask, why did you become the Connector? What has led you to become the Connector?
Well, it's been one journey, I would say. I want to say to you, Anastasia, life is a journey of self-discovery. So the reason for my name is Morris the Connector. I've rediscovered myself, going from the pain that's pushed me to the power, to empower. I grew up with my mum and 5 siblings. Me and my dad left home when I was 7 years old. I really struggled with that, going to school. I was getting bullied at school as well. It wasn't by the kids, it was by the teachers, telling me I wouldn't be nothing in life. But fast forward, I want to talk today about the power of the human spirit. That's what I want to talk about, because you asked me one thing there, why and how did I become Morris the Connector? The greatest thing that we can say we can become, it's not who we are, it's who we become. But I went from glory to wearing my crown of glory. And the first time I suffered a major death in my family was my brother. He was 19 years old and he was stabbed to death in London. My hero, my king, my protector. But fast forward, when he passed away, I suffered mentally with that. It could bring you up or it could bring you down. By the age of 15, I started selling drugs on the street, selling drugs. I've done that for 12 years, I would say, going in and out of prison. It didn't really stop me from doing what I was doing. My mindset was like, I didn't know what I wanted to be after leaving school. I didn't believe in myself. So after 12 years, it was the death of my son. He was 18 months old. He passed away at home in an accident. That made me look up and think to myself, Morris, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? I must have hugged him over 10 or 15 times. Can you imagine that? And then hearing he's gone, looking in his grave and thinking to myself, you didn't even know this boy. I was seeking, I was finding. They say knock on the door shall be open, seek and you shall find. And I went to church. When I went to church and started to go to church, my mindset reset. I started to think different. I started to believe that there was a higher being, which is God. Everybody was singing and dancing in church. I used to be dancing in a nightclub. But here I was, thinking, I'm happy now, being in this place. But fast forward, after going through that, I started to work for the first time. Can you imagine? After selling drugs and things like that, I started to work and I started to feel good working. Started to...
So, obviously you didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to be the Connector.
No, I'm just leading to that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So
yes,
I'm really just
yes.
leading to that. It was a process. It's a process for every one of us. We have to take the baby step to get where we need to get to. And my steps was coming from that adversity with my brother to the death of my son. From my son, I started to connect with myself. I would say it was a mindset reset. My mindset reset. I started to come out of darkness. I started to see the light. I started to think different. I would say we have to think different to become different. So I became a person of thinking I can do something. I can work now, because I never worked in my life. After 7 years, I was able to set up a chauffeur company that now drives Justin Bieber, Beyonce, A$AP Rocky, Rihanna.
That's amazing.
Yeah, doing all of that. I never believed I could become that person, but life is a journey of pain. But that pain will push you to your power. And after 12 years of doing that, the next death in my family was my sister, 2 kids, they got murdered. by the Father. You know, I was saying, why me, God? Why me? You know, because I was feeling so much pain.
Why does it happen to us?
Yeah, why does it have to happen to us? But now I know why. I know why, because we all have to go through pain. They say there's no test, then you have no testimony. I looked at my mess. I put a message from my mess, and I was able to transition that by believing in God. There was a reason for all this. And I started to work hard, just carried on working hard, and then the next death was my sister. She passed away in 2007. My mum passed away in 2010. My dad in 2011. My wife committed suicide in 2015 and lost another son in 2018. But I could sit here, and I can't go through everything, but one thing I could say, when I used to say, why me, Anastasia, now I say, try me, because I believe it had to be me, to find the real me inside of me, that spirit in me, that spirit that has made me become this person of power, to empower others, to show them that your pain is your gain. Like when I go to the gym, I go to the gym to build muscle. Life is about building muscle, going through it. Knowledge and wisdom, like Bruce Lee said, knowledge will give you power. Character will give you respect by knowing who you are. I know who I am now, and that's why I call myself Morris the Connector, because I'm connecting to myself. I now go to schools, I have a charity, you know, I go around the world speaking my truth now, you know, and showing people that I ain't lucky. It's what I chose to do with that pain. And everyone that's listening today, I can say to that, you are a king, you are a queen. When you're born, we're dying. We're seeking to find ourselves. We're going to have to go through the pain to find that purpose. But we have to try and make the right choices. I made the right choices. 33 years I haven't drank alcohol or smoked marijuana. I chose to transition from that pain, to push myself through that, to become Morris the Connector, that's now connected to the source and sends out the right vibrations to get the energy back, to give back to everyone I speak to.
So you wouldn't say you're like a motivational speaker then? It's more a connector is different.
I would say, most people say, are you a motivational speaker? I said, no, I'm an inspirational speaker. I inspire people to get up. I don't motivate people and pump them up. I do in a way, but I inspire them with my story. I've written a book, it's called From Glory to Crown and Glory. Many things happened in that darkness that was gory, but it's my crown and glory. I believe God chose me as a messenger. I took my mess, I took the message from my mess. I believe we all got messy.
Yeah.
But you are the pen and paper of your story. You could play the victim or the hero, Anastasia. But I'm the hero now. I go with my cape on, saving lives now around the world. I was in New York, New Jersey, Los Angeles, paid speaking, you know.
It's very inspiring what you do. And you talk with people all over the world.
Well, that's my gift.
You have seminars as well.
Yeah, I had a seminar in Atlanta in November. But that's my gift, that's my purpose. I found my gift. They say once your gift becomes you, it will bring you in front of great people.
You had to go through all of that to realise your gift.
To find myself, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the power
really
of the human spirit. That's the power of the human spirit. We all have a spirit, but we don't connect to it. I used to do, right? And be. Now I'm being the real me. And now I'm doing. You know, so the difference when I was a gangster, I was doing and being outside of me. Now Morris the Connector is connected inside of himself. They say once a man, twice a child. I'm like a child again, just asking God for everything now, because he's my father.
And I like it when you say something like, believing is seeing.
Yeah.
Other than seeing is believing.
That's what it is.
So could you elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah, because from my perspective, I used to not believe. But now I believe everything becomes real. So it's not seeing is believing, it's believing is seeing. Because if I believe why I had to go through this pain, I know my why now and my must. Your why is bigger than you, Anastasia. But why? Why is this happening to me? Many people don't know why things are happening, where they come from, what they're meant to do, or where they're going. But I know why, because I've now found my gift, found my purpose. You need to know your why.
Yeah.
You must. Like Muhammad Ali said, he said this quote, I love this quote.
Yeah.
He says, the service to others is the rent we pay for being in this world.
It's very true.
I'm
it's
serving.
About the service.
Yeah, I'm serving now with my love. And one of my favourite quotes is, I have all the ingredients now. Desire, dedication, determination. I stay persistent in anything I do to become who I need to become. If I was a cake, I would eat myself. I love myself so much. Because you see, love, Anastasia, real love, like Bob Marley said, one love. One love. There's only one love, not two love, three love. Somebody says they love you. One love.
Yes.
Takes you to the highest frequency. Because with love, there's no hate. We just elevate and speculate to relate, to associate, to collaborate. That's why I'm here. Do you understand?
Yes.
Right? Because I love you. I love everyone. Even if you don't love me, I can love you from afar.
Exactly.
Understand? So that love is deep.
You've got a lot of love
Connection,
to give.
yeah. And that's the connection we need.
Yes.
That love. To love others. But you've got to love yourself first. It's no use loving others and not loving yourself and fighting with yourself. You've got to love you.
So where can we find you then?
You can find me on Instagram. I am Morris the Connector.
Okay.
Facebook, Morris the Connector. My website, Morris the Connector. LinkedIn, Morris the Connector. YouTube, Morris the Connector. Morris the Connector is connected everywhere.
Yes. And people can book to see you, book tours.
On my calendar, on everything. They could book a free discovery session. I'm here. It's not about the money. And this is when I go to the schools. I go to schools and tell my story and show the kids. In every follower, there's a leader waiting to come out. And what I say to the kids, I never had someone like me come into your school telling you you can be great. Because within you, you have the power in you to become the real you. But make yourself, don't worry about the money. We don't have to worry about the money Anastasia, like I did. They say money is the root of all evil, but it's not. It's the love that I had for the money. I was doing all this stuff to make money. But you're the money. Because you're a valuable person. You're interviewing me. I'm a valuable person. I'm the product. So make yourself a valuable person in the world and the money will come to you. You don't have to worry about money. And that's what I show the kids. Don't worry, just find a progressive idea. Stick to it. Keep doing it. Doing it. Doing it. Doing it. When do you stop? Don't stop doing it if you love it. If you don't love it, you can change it. Change happens, progress doesn't. You can change anything you want to change. That's the power we have. Serious.
Thank you so much, Morris. Those are very inspiring words, and I hope everyone does feel inspired today. And yes, please do follow him and book his tour. And hopefully we'll see you again. Thank you so much.
Anytime, you're welcome. I love talking. Let me just say this. My mum and dad used to call me a parrot when I was 7 years old. I used to cry. Now I get paid for speaking. I found my gift. I found my purpose. You have a gift. You have a purpose. Let's do it.
Well done.
I'm Tiana. This is Mind Over Matter. I'm here with Josiah, who's going to open you up about how he deals with autism. So, hi Giselle, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, what would you say is your biggest challenge when dealing with autism?
Autism, my biggest challenge is behavioral problems. So, like learning to manage how I feel and also making friendships and relationships that last rather than relationships that don't last. So, with me, I struggled making relationships due to the way I behaved when I was growing up. I had a test at 14. They didn't find anything on me. They didn't find that I was autistic. So we do believe that there was a misdiagnosis. However, I was recently diagnosed in January with autism. And that clarified a few things that I was thinking about, why I behave the way I do, what I do, like behavioral patterns in, how I listen to music, things I'm focused on. We have a thing called hyperfixations where we're focused on things we like to, and we're very driven towards those things and making them happen. So, yeah.
Okay, so obviously you've been diagnosed with autism. What would you say for the viewers who, haven't been diagnosed? Like how would they feel within themselves without having an actual diagnosis?
They feel different from everyone. They can look at a crowd and think, I'm not like you, or I don't think how you guys think. And it's not necessarily in a disrespectful way, it's just you take one group and you take one person, but this person is just naturally thinking different than others. They behave different from others, and so they can see within their behavior patterns, and they can look online. Am I autistic? What are the signs of an autistic person? But a lot of it comes down to, how they behave and what their view of the world is.
Okay. And I know you mentioned obviously like the fitting in and, it can, I can understand it's, probably hard. But how was it like going to school? Because obviously I know you said you were diagnosed around 14. How was it like going to school, or even now like as an adult in like the work world, the workforce? How was you finding it?
Going to school is a very difficult one because I had friends at first, but I ended up losing a lot of friends over time. I didn't know the type of behaviors that I exude, only that they were rude behaviors. And it ended up being where it was what I knew. And until I was about 15 years old, my behavior died down a bit. And I started becoming more control of what I was doing, thinking of what I can do, what I want to do. And over time, when it comes to, being introduced to new things such as spirituality, being taught things, how to do certain things properly, more lovingly, how to treat people, it comes with change and good change. And regarding work, it can feel a bit daunting at first if you aren't the type of person to speak, or if you are very closed in on yourself. But it takes preparation, and it takes a moment to kick back and think, what am I going to do today? How can I make this shift a good shift? What can I do? And doing just simple research, what to speak to people, what to say, and yeah.
Okay, that's good. That thank you, honestly, for opening up with that. I appreciate that, and I'm sure the viewers appreciate that as well. So obviously, you hear a lot of like stigma around autism. Should I say, like, everyone says, oh, if you're autistic, you're different, or if you have this, it's all, it's like everyone separates autism with normality, should I say. So how would you like advise others, or even how did you come about that realization yourself to be like, you know what, I'm not different? How did you come up like with that?
Regarding difference, it's a case of not blending in with people. Whenever you're in a group and you think, can I be a part of this? Am I going to be part of this? Am I going to go forward with this? And it just depends on, you know, how that group is, how you are, how comfortable you are with that group, what you want out of it. Regarding the difference side of things, it's, you know, it's feeling away from the group, but also you tend to be curious about a lot of things. So when I started being on my autism journey, I looked up a question, and it was a weird question, and it was along the lines of, can autistic people do this? And it was a really weird question, because I'm like, we are people at the end of the day.
I'm quite curious just to know what that question.
Something along the lines of, can autistic people be intimate or something like that? I believe, from my memory, something along the lines of those. Not exactly that, but I just want to say, we are people, we have emotions. Although our brain structure is different from the vast majority, just because we think differently doesn't necessarily mean that we are wholly different. I got a body like you, I got eyes like you, I got a brain like you. Simply just put, my brain is different than yours.
I like that. Honest, you know, it's that just listening to that is inspiring, and I hope that you guys are inspired by that as well. So, like, moving forward with it, because obviously it's you know, this for life. Do you think that will this affect you, like, in the long run with anything? I know we spoke about being in like the work world. Like, how is it changing? Like, do you know what I mean? If you're going into this environment or changing, like, do you know what I mean? It
comes down to whether there are barriers and whether you want to break down those barriers, because it's gotten to the point where people have told me, just because you're autistic doesn't mean you should make it your whole personality. It's a part of you, but it doesn't define you. What defines you is the people around you and your character. So for me, going forward, what I put my mind to, it's a case of, do I want to make it succeed for me, or do I want to put it to the side, or do I actually want to focus on it?
I like that. That's really good that you think that way. I mean, I'm honestly in shock, because for me it's inspiring that obviously you're sitting here and you're talking about, you know, autism, and it's nice to hear your point of view from it. So, you know, just to wrap it up, what would you say to, you know, the viewers who might be like, probably doesn't have the diagnosis yet, but is feeling, you know, different, or maybe they do have the diagnosis but they don't know how to cope with it? Like, any short words to just give them?
You can tell by who you gravitate towards, and if you feel different, there's no shame in that. Everyone's supposed to be different, not everyone can be the same, and it's okay. Like, if you feel that, you know, if you feel that this way, understand what it is that you have, or you potentially may have, and go with it. Learn how you can make it, you know, I'd say learn how to dominate it in a way that you can succeed in what you do.
Thank you so much. So I've been here with Josiah talking about autism, and thank you so much for sitting here and opening up. I've been Tiana, and thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode of Mind Over Matter.